Hello and welcome to my review and in-depth look at the Otterbox Defender series case for the iPhone 6s Plus. This is Otterbox's most defensive and protective case for the 6s Plus. It is also their largest, and I'm going to take an in-depth look at this today. Taking a look at the case and what it comes with, there is a belt clip included, which is pretty useful, I guess, if you're a construction worker. However, I found in use, it's almost like strapping a brick to the side of your belt, and I wouldn't be able to use this daily, and I don't think a normal person would, unless maybe they're a giant, because it just looks ridiculous and is impractical. It also functions as a bit of a screen protector if you expect your iPhone to get hit, and can be useful if you throw your iPhone in a bag or something like that. Setting that aside and taking a look at the actual case for the phone itself, on the front we can see there is a screen protector for the screen made out of plastic, and I actually had a few issues with this screen protector. In the 1 week that I used this case, it actually scratched my phone. I was very careful with putting it on, but I guess the dust protection isn't great enough, and dust got in between the screen protector and my phone, and it scratched my phone case. It also has rainbowing, and again lets dust get in between it and the phone screen because it's not an adhesive screen protector, and leaves a gap. It also is not as smooth to touch as your iPhone's normal screen, and all in all really takes away from the iPhone and makes using it not a joy. It is compatible with 3D Touch, and I had no issues with that. There's also a home button Touch ID protector, which I had no issues with. Touch ID worked perfectly, although you don't really need scratch protection on it. It's more for dust protection because the Touch ID button is made of sapphire. Taking a look at the case around, first thing we see on the right hand side is a cover for the button. This is a little bit difficult to press and definitely less tactile than my Symmetry case and Commuter case, and about on par with my iPad mini LifeProof case. Taking a look at the top, there is nothing. The left hand side, there is a protector for the mute switch, which protects against dust, as well as volume button covers, which are again not very tactile. There are also little things for the belt clip to grip onto, which is pretty nice. Taking a look at the bottom, there are cutouts for the microphone and the speaker, which do not protect against dust, as well as flaps for the volume jack, as well as lightning port. I had no issues plugging in very large headphone cables as well as non-standard lightning cables into these ports. They're very well sized, and even my monoprice non-standard cable fit in here, as well as my AKG Q701's very large 3.5mm jack. Taking a look at the back, we can see there is a nice and large camera cutout. I had no issues with the flash reflecting off of this black border. The only issue I can say I had with this is the fact that it does not protect against dust, and dust can get in there. Taking a look at the Apple logo cutout on the back, there is a protector, which is definitely a big plus to this Defender, especially over the Commuter, as it does not leave your Apple logo completely vulnerable. Taking it on and off is probably the biggest pain in the butt with this case. It's difficult to get a grip, and there's a lot of steps. Taking off this, we can see there's no real air cushion in this case. Is rubber, which is a little bit of a disappointment considering how focused it is on drop protection. Taking a look at the inside of this hard plastic shell that goes around the phone itself, there are cutouts and a bunch of clips that hold it together. These clips raise a concern with durability, especially if you're someone who takes on and off cases and plans on using this only when you feel your phone would really be in danger, maybe if you're going hiking or something. and I definitely would not buy this case to take on and off regularly. As you can see, there's a bit of a gap between where the phone sits in this case. Taking my 6S Plus, it fits very nicely, snug, does not move around. I can't put this on because I have a glass screen protector on my 6S Plus, and again, I've had issues with it actually scratching the screen of my 6S Plus. However, I can say I didn't have any real issues with the fit, other than the fact that this screen protector is plastic and non-adhesive. I'd really like to see a Defender with an adhesive glass screen protector, because that protects against impact as well as greater scratch protection, and would not allow dust to get in between the screen and the phone, which I feel is a very big selling point for the Defender, and considering that great shortfall is a bit of a deterrent for people buying this case. In terms of size, this Defender is absolutely large, especially if you're not someone used to large phones. It's like carrying a brick around in your pocket. I had no issues putting it in any of my pockets, but if you're someone who wears skinny jeans, you're gonna have an issue fitting this in your pocket. It's very difficult to put on correctly, and I also have a concern with how this rubber will age. I found that in previous Defenders it doesn't fit right, and even here you can see it doesn't fit flush, which causes an issue again with dust protection, etc. And I wouldn't expect for this plastic part to keep in prime condition for very long. The weight of this is almost equal to the weight of the iPhone, so it nearly doubles the weight of your iPhone. And the thickness, just drawing a comparison between it and an iPhone 6S Plus, it's almost as if you have 3 or 3.5 6S Pluses stacked on top of each other. Again, comparing this to the Defender, as well as the symmetry, you can see how thick this case really is. It really dwarfs any other cases in the Otterbox lineup, and honestly is ridiculous to use day to day. It just doesn't really make sense unless you play football with your phone, or you're someone who really needs that belt clip. In terms of build quality, the materials are pretty high quality, but again, there is a concern raised with the rubber. In terms of water and dust protection, this Defender is not waterproof, which is my biggest issue, because if you're going to be dealing with these ports on a daily basis, losing the ability to use it on a dock, etc., I think you should be getting waterproofing. And the LifeProof Free or LifeProof Nude are coming for the 6S Plus and are available for the 6 Plus, and those are thinner, have pretty similar drop protection, and they are waterproof. And I feel that if you're going to deal with that, you should have that waterproofing. Coming back to the dust proofing, there's no dust proofing on the speaker and headphone jack, and there's no dust proofing here, which I think is a big issue, especially, you know, I see this to be something aimed really at construction workers, and if you're not going to have dust protection all around, I don't really see a point in going through the trouble of using this case every day. Getting on to the conclusion, this case offers decent access to your 6S Plus, and definitely better protection than the Symmetry or the Commuter. However, I don't feel that it's really worth it, because you know, you have to deal with this every day, you have to carry it around every day, and that's something you have to think about. Even if you're someone who really wants to keep your device mint, in my experience at least, it actually scratched my phone screen in 1 week of usage, which is a big disappointment, because I see the biggest, you know, selling point of this is to keep your phone looking mint, and if it can't even manage that over a 1 week period, I think that's a bit ridiculous. And coming back to the cons, the dust protection is not very consistent or not very great. The buttons are difficult to use. It's definitely a pain in the ass to put it on, and it really makes your iPhone 6S Plus much thicker. It's like, it's almost like carrying a brick around. And you know, in terms of long-term usage, I feel like this rubber is going to become an issue, and for a $70 case before tax, before shipping, that's a bit of an issue, especially considering it only has a 1-year warranty. And then the fact that there's, again, no dust seals and a non-adhesive screen protector really draws an issue with keeping your screen mint. All in all, I can't say I would recommend the Defender to anyone. If you're looking for a very protective case, I would go towards Lightproof's offerings before I went towards this, because I don't feel it's worth it putting on all this bulk for the limited protection the Defender offers. Especially when you compare it to the Commuter or the Symmetry. I haven't had any issues with the Symmetry other than the fact that the finish wears off on the rubber, but that's going to be a problem with the Defender as well as the Commuter, just as equally. I've had those issues with other Otterboxes in the past, but I've never had issues with dropping my iPhone 6s Plus in the Symmetry. So I don't see why someone would go for the Defender unless, you know, again, you play football with your phone or you want to use the belt clip. I appreciate you watching my video, and I hope I helped you make a decision. Thanks.